the language of consciousness. How a multidimensional fractal of communication can help us heal conflict and create a golden age. What if the same invisible language that runs through your inner world also runs through the land beneath your feet, through your ancestral bloodline, and through the web of all living beings? What if unlocking that language, the language of consciousness, is actually the key to resolving conflict, healing trauma, and stepping into a golden age? That's what we're exploring today. We live in a time of extraordinary fragmentation inside ourselves, between each other, between humanity and the natural world, and yet the answers may be simpler than we think. There is a common language woven through all realms of existence, inner and outer, material and subtle. And when we learn to speak it, something remarkable happens. Diplomacy becomes possible where there was only deadlock. Healing becomes possible where there was only stuck pain. Let me walk you through this, through what I call the multidimensional fractal of how consciousness communicates, the inner world, and how some contemporary psychotherapeutic models can help us understand the fractal let's start inside, with a powerful evidence-based psychotherapy called internal family systems, or IFS. It's currently the fastest growing psychotherapy on the planet, and for good reason. IFS shows us that within each of us, there are parts, inner sub-personalities that formed around unprocessed wounds, usually from early life. Some parts protect us, some try to soothe us, and at the center of it all, hidden away, is the original wound, what IFS calls the exile. Think of your inner world like a vast, overstretched organization. Workers, your parts, are running around frantically, using old tools, getting no supervision, growing exhausted and resentful. The whole system is grinding to a near standstill. But here's the key. These parts aren't the enemy. Every single one arrived out of love, trying to protect you. They just need one thing more than anything else. The key. Acknowledgement. When someone, or something, finally sees them, witnesses what they've been through, and makes them feel heard, the whole system begins to shift. Trauma can be released. Wholeness begins to return. And when we're not dominated by our parts, we access what IFS calls self-energy, a state of calm, clarity, compassion, creativity, courage, and connectedness. This is in many ways a Western notion for what might, in other modalities, be called our Buddha nature, our truest self, the fractal, outer worlds. Now here's where it gets extraordinary, and this is the fractal at work. The exact same dynamic plays out in the outer world. In geomancy, the ancient art of working with the consciousness of land, nature spirits, elementals, and ancestors, practitioners find that when land is disturbed, when crops fail, when animals sicken, there is almost always an unacknowledged energy at the root, a massacre that was never witnessed, a waterway rerouted without permission, an ancestral wound left to fester across generations. The fix, the same as in IFS. You enter a receptive state of consciousness, sometimes a theta brainwave state, hold heart-centered compassion, and you listen. You acknowledge what has gone unseen. In Aboriginal Australian culture, interlocutors speak with stones, sing to country along the songlines, hold language for different realms. This isn't mysticism for its own sake. It's a sophisticated technology of consciousness communication. So the fractal looks like this. Inside you, parts need acknowledgement. Then healing occurs between people. Conflict dissolves when each side feels truly heard. the land. Nature spirits and ancestral energies settle when witnessed. In the ancestral field, inherited wounds can be cleared when finally seen one language, many realms. One golden key, acknowledgement, conflict, karma in the golden age. Most conflict, whether between individuals, communities, or nations, begins with a misunderstanding, an energy that contracted, a perspective that was never acknowledged. And most of us are also, unknowingly, carrying legacy burdens, ancestral wounds that were never decompressed, passed down through the generations like quantum data packets waiting to be opened and witnessed. The extraordinary news. We now have the tools, therapeutic, contemplative, and multidimensional, to process these at extraordinary speed. We're in a therapeutic revolution, and as more people clear this density from their own systems and lineages, the collective field lightens. But, and this is important, we also need to be wise about this, staying endlessly in our parts, always seeking acknowledgement, can become its own kind of trap. Self-cherishing, fragmentation reinforced rather than healed. The goal is to move through the acknowledgement into wholeness, into self-energy, into a state where we can be present for others, for the land, for the ancestors, without losing ourselves. So I want to leave you with 3 questions to sit with. 1. Can you notice when a part is running the show inside you and offer it compassion rather than shame or suppression? 2. Can you see the parts in others, the wound behind the behavior, and extend acknowledgement within reason? 3. Can you spend time in nature with an open heart, listening, not just looking, listening, as a sentient being in a deeply interwoven system? Because the more of us who can access these expanded states, self-energy, Buddha nature, heart coherence, for longer and longer stretches of time, the faster a revolution of consciousness accelerates. And that, my friends, is how we begin to create the conditions for a golden age. Are you ready? And if you would like to learn more about how we can create causes and conditions to create a golden age, please check out Padma's book, Dakini Weaving, Keys to the Golden Age, or visit our website, www.dharmastars.org. Please remember to like and subscribe, as we really wish to help to activate your awareness to be a co-creational being in these important times.